Well, I've done all the mounts, or marked all the mounts that I want to put on the frame. I've got a few little brackets I've got to weld on, side stand brackets got to go on, but I can't really get them on until I tear the frame down. Everything's done, hopefully. So now I'm going to tear the frame down, take everything off, then I can get to the frame, roll it over, get the final welds done, clean up some of the stuff that I'll cut off, and hopefully get it to the powder coaters in the next couple of days. Got to cut a couple of days off work, so hopefully if it's not busy I can get it down there, get it sorted. Might take a while. One little problem I've come across is on the rear swing arm there's, I assume it to be a Teflon bush, but it could just be a nylon bush, and it's right inside the bottom mount of the swing arm suspension. Can't get it out without damaging it, but powder coating, obviously the high temperature of the powder coating may melt it, so I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm going to phone the guy up that made the frame on Monday to ask him what it is, so I've got some idea of how it's going to cope with the temperature in powder coating. If it's only nylon it will probably melt, in which case I'll have to put another one in and remit, which is going to be a right pain in the butt. If that's the case, then so be it. So I'm tearing this lot down now, and then working on a frame, doing the final welds and getting it sorted. As you can see in here, this is, I'll come back a bit, you can see where it's at. It's the shock mount on the bottom of the swing arm. There's a bush in there, but it looks like it's nylon, and if it is, it's going to be a problem with the powder coat, like I just said. I'm not sure about that yet. Well, we've got the frame apart, as you can see, boxes of bits, there you go. Well, sportster engines ain't that heavy, but they're heavy enough. So all I've got to do now is to have a bit of a clear up in here, and then get the frame up on the table, on my little workbench in the middle of the workshop, my garage, my shed, my 10x6 shed actually, and tidy up all the mounts. Was going to powder coat, but the big problem I've got at the moment is there's a nylon bush in the back of the swing arm which I can't get out, and if the only way I can get it out is to damage it. Spoke to the powder coating guy, it's going to melt because of the temperatures. It's not a Teflon, it's a nylon one, so it will probably melt. So I've got that problem going on at the moment. Not quite sure what to do. Tried to speak to the guy that made the frame to see if the insert is replaceable. Hopefully it is, and I can just bash the old one out and put a new one in after the powder coating. Not sure about that yet, but the rest of it is ready to go. Got the swing arm, got the bearings out. They're just softail bearings, so they just push in from the back. Putting a chain guard on, mainly because the beloved girlfriend is going to be sitting on the back quite a lot, and I really don't want to get her leg or her trousers or boot or whatever tied up in the chain. So chain guard's going on. That mount's done, screwing in from the back, so this clears the outer frame area so it doesn't foul that. Number plate bracket, it's going to be a little one on the back, so that's done. And the frame, yeah, all that's ready to go. Everything's tidied up, side stand mounts on, fingers crossed it's in the right place. Brackets for the tank, bits and pieces are all done. I had to modify the battery compartment a bit, but the rest of it's there. It's all ready to go. Right, well, hopefully the next bit will be the frame either painted or powder coated, depending on which route I want to go with this bushing. It's a right pain really, but everything's been a pain with this. Everything you try and do don't fit, don't work, got to modify it, move it around a bit. Everything's been like that, but hopefully I've broke the back of it now. So after this we will have the frame painted and then the final assembly be going together, so it should start looking good. See you then. Well, I managed to spray the frame and the oil tank and a few other little bits and pieces in this bloody awful freezing cold weather. I had to warm the garage up a bit, get the temperature up, and I sprayed it. So that job's out of the way. It's come out okay. It's not great, but then I'm not looking for a show quality bike this time. The last bike, the Wild Star, I won what, 6 trophies, featuring a magazine which hasn't come out yet, by the way, Backstreet Heroes, which was nice, but there was a lot of polished alley on it and it was clean, as you see. But this one I want to ride. I'm going to hopefully do a lot more miles on this one pretty quickly once I get it back on the road. So I'm not looking for something that's a show winner. I'm looking for something that looks already used, as they say. So most of the stuff I'm putting on it, cleaning up, making it nice and, getting rid of all the crap and bits and pieces. Rear brake caliper, all I've basically done is just took the paint off, give it a bit of a quick rub over with some wet and dry and a quick polish. Nothing major, just enough to clean it up really, and that's the sort of style I'm going for. As for the rocker covers, which I showed you last time, cast aluminium. They're sandcast, so they're actually quite rough. Now, like I said, I was going to polish them up, which I'm still going to do, but I'm not going to go the full route like I anticipated when I first started to swap this stuff over. I was going to do it all nice and polished and shit and pieces, but like I say, I've edged towards the old school but old looking, so it looks like it's been around for a while. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to polish them around the edges, over the tops, but I'm leaving the roughness in the middle or in the corners, just because that's how it would end up if it had been on the bike for like 30 years. Once you get the edges smooth, the roughness in the middle would be where it hasn't been cleaned over the years and it's got a little bit of oxidation, started to corrode. People have just cleaned it and missed the corners. Like you do on an old piece of aluminium, all the bits where the bolts are and all that always get a bit manky. People polish the front but they can't get in there and they just leave it. So that's what I'm going to try and do. That said, that's the one as it comes raw. This is the one that I've been working on for an hour, working around the edges, getting the edges smooth. I'm leaving a lot of this in the middle here, just on the edges where it would be hardest to clean if it was on the bike. Polish the rest of this up, but leave them bits and pieces in there. I've only spent an hour on this so far, so I've got a lot more to do yet. This is just the rough sanding, 180 grit, just to take the sand cast off of the bits that I want to smooth out. So probably another 2 or 3 hours working that yet, and then I've got to do the other one. I'll just show you the frame, which is outside. Like I said, quick can job. Is as it come out of the can at the moment, so I haven't really polished anything up yet. It all needs to be just rubbed down a little bit, get rid of all the bits and pieces, and then start putting it back together, because I really want to get on with this at the moment. I've also just received my M-unit controller, the bike. There's loads of articles on YouTube about these things, so you can look it up. This one I haven't used before. I on the other bike I used the older version of this. There's also 2 versions of the newer version. One's Bluetooth, one's just basic. I'm only using the basic one because the Bluetooth one connects to your phone and you can unlock the bike with the phone, start it and whatever stuff. But I'm a little bit old school. I like to put the key in, turn it and all that stuff, so I'm just going to use the basic one. It comes with a built-in alarm and loads of options and extras that you can set up or disarm if you want to. So hopefully that fits in the space that I've made for it. I've also got the Speedo. Now, the Speedo that I had before was polished stainless, but that went on the old bike. But what I did do, I kept the temperature, the rev counter off the other bike. Bit dusty there. Rev counter off the other bike, which also has a temperature sensor, part of the accessories on the gauge. The new one, that's the tack. The new Speedo comes with idiot lights in the bottom, which is a lot handier for me, but it only comes in black. So I've been told by the guy that the black paint is over the stainless casing. So I'm going to take the black paint off, and yeah, we'll see. That's what he said. So when I strip that, I'll let you know if it actually is or it isn't. Hi, well, another little trick that I've learned off of YouTube, which is pretty good to find out anything really these days. I'm taking the anodising off of the pedals. When I bought them, they was black anodised, which was fine when I was riding the black Sportster around and all that, but I want a little bit of polished alley on the bike, like I said, with the rocker covers and things. So I'm using oven cleaner to remove the anodising. I'll show you. There you go, oven pried. Just whack it on. You can see this one is a little bit still soaking a bit along this area here. This is a bit I've had to machine out because I wanted the other mounts left on the frame, so I've machined that bit out so as it clears the original mount, because I might need it. Just whack it on, let it soak for a little while, and it starts to come off, as you can see. The only thing I didn't realise is that the pedal assemblies are actually powder coated. So although the oven pride will take off the anodising on the shaft, it won't remove the powder coating. So once I've cleaned the shafts up, the powder coating will have to be removed with a good strong paint stripper. Now they seem to have changed all the chemicals in paint strippers recently. The one that I normally use is Nitromors, which is this one, but it seems to be, whether this is an old tin or whatever, I don't know, but it's absolutely useless really compared to what it used to be like. You used to just put it on, leave it a few seconds, it used to wrinkle all the paint up really quick. Now you put it on, doesn't seem to do anything, just dries out. Well, the trick I've also learned off YouTube, evidently, is when you put it on, to put loads on and then wrap it in plastic so that it doesn't dry out, and then leave it, and then it carries on activating because it's still wet. So I'll give that a go once I finish doing the removing the black anodising. Trying to get the engine back in. My mate Terry was to come over today and give me a hand putting it back in, but it's been snowing all night and the roads are so bad I didn't want him coming over on his bike, so I'm determined to get it in today, but obviously it's proving a bit difficult on my own. It's always the front mounts on these for some reason. Well, the reason is the mount goes up behind the cam case and there's a captive nut welded to the plate, so you've got to get it through the first plate, right through the engine casing and then into the nut, and if you don't get the engine in the right place it just ain't going to go in, and it's a bit heavy for one person. I'm only a little guy, so it's a bit of a pain, but I'm going to get there. I've got the engine back in, bit of a struggle, but it got it in. Now I'm just starting to put the M unit in and sort some of the wires out. Finished polishing one rocker cover, but it took me all day. So I'll left the other one till later because my fingers are a bit sore, to be honest. Got the M unit temporarily mounted behind the cover. It's a bit tight, but it'll go in. And I've just started to pull the loom apart to get rid of the wires that I don't need. Basically, I've got these are the main wires that come out of the loom that I need. They go to the starter motor down this side. They go to the neutral switch, ignition unit, regulator, side stands, the neutral switch. So that all comes, that's all the standard wiring, just comes straight through back to this side. Everything else I've took out, and that's mostly what I've got left, all that lot, which isn't much actually. If you look, this lot is what I took out. So as you can see, it's a fair bit. I don't need any more. And that lot's come out. Regulator, TPS and bits and pieces I've got here, ready to be connected up again. Most of it's going to be ribbon cable for the M unit. The M unit's going down here on the side. I'm going to keep the inline fuse, it's a safety fuse really, that's going to be mounted up under there, and then all that goes inside the cover on the side of the opposite side to the oil tank, and then the wires are going to come around the back here and up through that slot and come out this slot under the tank and then go round to the front. Just show the rocker cover, which is all polished up. It looks rather neat. Much better than the old standard stuff. Bit old school. They also do a thin cover for the cam cover, which I'm going to get, and the sprocket cover as well. But it's all extra money, so I'll have to wait till later. The main thing is get much of the loom run through so I can see how many wires I need to the front. I've just calculated it's about 7 or 8 main wires and the rest are micro wires. So I've got another piece of cable here, which is just a bit of trailer cable actually. It's got 1.5 wire and 2.5 wire, so that'll be perfectly adequate, plenty big enough. Whenever you're doing wiring, just make sure you get a decent sized cable, because you can draw a fair bit of current sometimes. So yeah, there we go. One little thing I'll show you that I haven't finished yet, I'll get in there. Front forks. It's a bit tight in this shed, so it's the best I can do, I'm afraid, at the moment. I always like to put springs on the top between the two yokes. Just adds a little bit of extra touch. Just changes the look of the front end really. I'm moving the headlight mount higher as well, just to change the whole look of the front. Headlights going up here, and we should be, front end should be sorted. So yeah, got the Sportster wiring diagram here, the standard one. You can see that. So I'm using that. It seems to be correct to the bike, which is unusual. There is one little thing I noticed though. This comes directly out of the Harley Davidson book. But this section here, where it shows you the wiring to from the battery to the starter motor and to the relay and the alternator wires, this wiring is actually wrong. The diagram is wrong, because apart from the green wire, the breaker doesn't go to the starter, it goes direct to the battery. So that wire should actually be there, and this one should be there, and it goes to the starter relay, which is interesting. But something you always got to double check. The wiring diagrams in the books, everyone uses them as gospel, but they can be drawn wrong, so it's just a note, just in case you're working to the diagram. So yeah, that's about it. Get away that light. I'm going to carry on with the wiring. I'll get a bit more involved in the wiring a bit later date when I show you the several stages and get my wiring diagram actually drawn out. But all that extra stuff you can get rid of, which saves a lot of space. Okay, till next time. See you soon.